It's deploying military-grade equipment, vehicles that are like tanks, rolling down the streets to attack an occupation of students. Tear gas, flash grenades, brutalising students with the full blessing and authorisation of the administration. When Leo Varadkar was in Boston, he said that the US and Ireland must dedicate themselves to peace in Gaza. The US administration has continued to dedicate themselves to supporting, to financing, to arming genocide. But students across America have fought for peace, have protested against genocide, and for their universities to divest from that genocide. Students at Columbia, for example, have occupied the administration building, have renamed it in honour of Hind Rajab, a frightened 6-year-old girl in Gaza who was killed while she hid alone in her car along with the paramedics who went to rescue her. Many other university students have done the same. But what has happened now is that the state has cracked down with incredible brutality on peaceful protesting students, as well as smearing them as anti-Semitic. The NYPD has invaded Columbia University. It's deploying military-grade equipment. You see things, effectively vehicles that are like tanks, rolling down the streets to attack an occupation of students. Tear gas, flash grenades, brutalising students with the full blessing and authorisation of the administration. NYPD officers assaulting students, pushing them downstairs, leaving one unconscious. At UCLA, instead of the state directly doing it, the state has stood back while for over 7 hours right-wing pro-Zionist gangs have attacked the camps in all sorts of ways, gas canisters, pepper spray, throwing fireworks and bricks into these peaceful protesters. So you have incredible state repression cracking down on democratic rights being used in the US to stop those who are raising their voice against genocide happening in the Middle East. Will you raise your voice against this? And would you encourage students in this country to follow the lead of students in the US, to occupy universities, to say there must be no connections between universities in Ireland or around the world with Israel?
In relation to Deputy Murphy's comments in relation to protest, I think peaceful protest has an important role to play, and I think students have engaged in peaceful protest on many occasions. I'm not going to comment on the actions or inactions of other countries in relation to how they engage with protests. But here in Ireland, I know students have always been willing to articulate their views on important issues and stood up for humanitarian issues, and I expect that will continue. But obviously, all protest needs to be within the confines of the law and should always be peaceful.